These days, there's a bewildering amount of food options available for delivery here in New York City, but it will cost you. Not that long ago, food delivery was almost always free here. Look back at menus or restaurant listings from the past decades and you'll see free delivery mentioned regularly. Now, you would hopefully, of course, tip the delivery man, but there was no fee from the restaurant or from a DoorDash or Uber Eats. They didn't exist yet. Home food delivery had been available to a limited extent prior to the 1970s, but it didn't really catch on in a big way until 1976, when a Chinese restaurant owner named Misa Cheng decided to give it a try at her Empire Szechuan restaurant at 97th Street and Broadway on the Upper West Side. Business was slow, so she decided if her customers weren't finding her, she'd find them. She would have menus left in building foyers and slipped under people's doorways in the neighborhood, and soon the calls came in. Just a few years later, the restaurant expanded to 3 locations and would eventually top out at 14 with an army of delivery men. Inevitably, other restaurants noticed, and the practice started spreading around the neighborhood and eventually the whole city. New Yorkers would have binders or folders full of menus, and there were always new ones or duplicates of ones you already had being slipped underneath the doors. In fact, the avalanche of menus that flooded buildings became a highly charged controversy in those days, even leading to lawsuits. All those menus encouraged ordering, and ordering was simple. You just call the restaurant directly, they'd bring you the food at no extra cost. And because everyone did free delivery, no one dared charge, lest they lose out. But by 1999, the technology is changing. In comes Seamless Web, a company initially focused on office workers and expense accounts, but eventually expanded to everyone. Now you would have multiple menus at your fingertips, although restaurants would still deliver the food. Then around the middle of the 2010s, a number of companies like DoorDash, Postmates, and Grubhub started having their own delivery guys pick up the food and deliver it, charging the customer and restaurant a fee. These days, less than half of restaurants in New York City have their own delivery people, and they tend to be the more old school places. We now have 65,000 freelance delivery workers here in New York, and they're at the center of some contentious debates about everything from how much they're being exploited by the apps to reckless bike riding to the areas where they congregate, like here on 11th Street. Of course, back in 1976, when Misa Cheng started delivery, she didn't anticipate how much of an effect it would have on the city. She just had an insight that it would help her business, and it did so spectacularly. By the way, there's still one Empire Szechuan on the Upper West Side, and although ownership has shifted over the years, if you call them up, put an order in, they'll deliver it for free.